Yep, goalless, and that is lethal. GG opponent. You weren't able to interact early and often, so you chose death. Hello YouTube, welcome to MTGA. And today we are going to have a look at Captain Sisay and Historic Brawl. This deck aims to win by untapping Captain Sisay and playing Paradox Engine, fetching it out of the deck with the commander and just absolutely popping off. So this deck is very similar to Oswald Fiddlebandler. I made a deck tag on that if you want to check it out. And the way this one works is we untap while having Sisay on the board. We fetch Paradox Engine. We now have Sisay, a mana dork, because we have a lot of mana dorks, we need one on the field, and a Captain Sisay. And now we play Paradox, play any card out of the hand to untap, and we win. We then fetch Mox Amber and we float all our mana repeatedly. We then fetch 1 mana Legends to go up in mana because we have 2 rocks, but we are fetching 1 mana cards. Now we can play Celestis to then go up in mana. We can play Nyx Lotus to go up in mana, and we eventually end in Kogla plus Thalia, because Kogla can bounce Thalia for 2 mana, we can play Thalia for 2 mana again, but Nyx Lotus taps for so much mana that it doesn't matter, and we just have infinite mana, and now we can draw a whole deck with Great Henge. We can just deal infinite damage to the opponent by then playing a Finale of Devastation, all sorts of good stuff that we can do if we have infinite mana and infinite card draw. And another thing to note here is this deck still tries to win without the commander, and because sometimes what happens is you untap with Sisay and you could fetch Paradox Engine, but then you can't play anything afterwards, so it's kind of useless. And then you go for some disruptive pieces or just cards that help you in certain matchups. Against full control, Toski can just really pull your head in value. In the mirror matchup, Linvala, Keeper of Silence, is absolutely devastating because they cannot activate abilities of creature they control, meaning they can't tap their Sisay to fetch out their answers. They can't use their mana dorks anymore, and it's basically game over from that point. Yeah, so a bunch of cool little silver bullets we have in the deck, but again, the main way we win most of the time is going to be the combo plan. Other than that, if you enjoy this deck and like this channel, then please consider subscribing, liking the video, commenting, all the good stuff, and let's jump right into some gameplay. We are ready to play against the Karma Primal Calamity, and let's see. Oh, sure. Let's draw some cards off of Esper Sentinel. We don't have a 2-drop rock, but should be fine. Yep. Oh, we have a mana dork. Oh wow, we're so good at magic. Look at us. I believe I still just go for the Celestis here. Maybe. Maybe not. Let's just play out my commander. Go in. They ramp. Yep. They indeed ramp with Explore, drawing us a card. That's pretty good. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are a playable card from hand, away from lethal. If we deploy the Celestis here, we can then proceed to win next turn by playing a 2-drop from hand. So what card can we get here after playing the Celestis that helps us? I think just Celestis into Redain and then fetching with Sisay at the end step might be the best choice. Just to respond whatever they're doing, but the Redain stops board wipes, that's why I like it. So, yep, they play land. And if they destroy Redain, that's a-okay with me. The one card that could get me here is something like an Anger of the Gods. That would really, really suck. Okay, it's a Rada, Heart of Celt. We Now fetch Paradox Engine. And they know what's up. GG. We are ready to play against Kaya the Inexorable, and Horse of Control should be a horrendous matchup for us. This should be a really good hand if we had more lands. Man, this is... We don't draw like 2 more lands in this hand, it's awful. But this is like exactly what we want. Turn 1 preemptive protection, dorks, we have a Redain, we have a Shadowspear beatdown plan on the Redain, we have a heroic intervention, it's everything we want, but... I have to mulligan that one. Yeah, sure, keep this. Cave of the Frost Dragon should come in handy though. Beating in later on the Kaya. Dawn of Hope, sure. And I think we start on the Catilda. Yep, Coldsteel Heart, sure. This is interesting. If I now play Sisay... Ooh, Dark Ritual. Into Grim Tutor, oh that's an aggressive one. What can they Grim Tutor for? Not even sure. Some kind of removal spell? If I play Sisay, she 1000% gets removed, right? But it's kind of tricky here. Yeah, let's wait a bit. Swing in for one. Then Bala, Keeper of Silence. Yeah, that is a reasonable card to fetch in this matchup, for sure. Yeah. That is a really good card to fetch in this matchup. I'm just going to play Sisay as a creature here. Damn. I play Linvala so I can stop opponents' Sisay combos. You're not supposed to play your own Linvala. Oh, that is... Yeah, that is really good, because they didn't need to... They didn't need to do this. And now I can try to just stick this Lyra Dawnbringer on the field. Now, if they have another removal spell, that would be awful, but... Can't play around that, I guess.
When evil arises, I will be there to confront it.
Don't worry.
Yep.
Sense the good in your heart.
Okay, how do we do this? If we animate the Cave of the Frost Dragon, I can kill the Kaya guaranteed. But then they can replay her and minus the Lyra. They can minus it anyways, yeah. Let's do it like this. And then Mindstorm Hope of Ghirapur. Yep.
I gotta bet these jobs better.
Oh no, they didn't block with the yeah, they didn't block with the Linvala. Makes sense. Oh, now this is getting ugly. A life gain package. Did not expect that. Well, let's see. What are we working with? Yep, let's slap you. Yeah, next turn the next Ajani Plus is going to hurt. Guess just deploy some creatures? They will just, like, I don't see the point in them playing Kaya and minusing on Sisay, but yeah, sure. Yeah, now grow Linvala and that would be awful. Wait, they didn't grow Linvala? Now I can swing it in the air with Lyra again on the Johnny. I think that's great for us. Reasonable. Attack. If they have block with Linvala, they're dead. So they can't do that. This is when this leaves the battlefield, right? Or put into exile, return that card onto your battlefield under its owner's control. Oh, I should have cracked this Mind Stone first. Oh, there's a Mox Amber. Not that it matters. I think I cycled this Regrowth. Yep. And draw another card. I'm not going to play out Mox into Hope here. Yep, Linvala is a card that beats us a lot of the time. I think I'm fine with not doing anything, even if they're bottom up here. Like, what am I supposed to do? I gained a lot of life anyways, but Doomscar. As expected. Ooh, that's great. Hey, that's not great. Yep. Guess it is what it is. And I believe we are done for, because we know we have nothing that's relevant here. And they can now just remove Sisay repeatedly, even if all that removal goes through the Selfless Saver here. Yep. Yeah, Linvala is a great card and one of the best techs against Sisay, but I didn't expect to see it from a non-Sisay list. Guess I was wrong. Yeah, that's GG. We are ready to play against Niv Mizzet. And man, I'm just getting paired up against control decks. That being said, let's start an Esper Sentinel so we can catch a Thoughtseize or something here. Okay, no Thoughtseize. I'll just proceed with a tap Sigiri's Shelter, and then a Stone Cold Serpent is also a great individual game plan here. Land, Celestis, protect Esper Sentinel. Good stuff. Yep, Celestis. Inventor's Fair is in this deck, not really because it fetches Paradox Engine, although it can do that, but it's the only legendary land we can play in those colors, and sometimes just being able to fetch a land with Sisay is great. So let's have them pay first. And the question is, do we even protect this? I'd rather just protect this Sisay here. So let's go with you. Yep. And now we grab Sisay, or grab something off Sisay. We can even go for the win next turn here because we have a Stone Cold Serpent actually. Yep. Ranger's Guile, they counter it. E-Spark, they remove in response, that's fine. Bunch of removal here. And I think I will just go for a Kogla. No, they have... I know these decks just play a ton of removal, but again, if we untap with Sisay, we instantly win. So they can't play Niv Mizzet on curve here, otherwise they're dead. Like I was going to say maybe play the Kogla on curve to then pressure them after they play Niv Mizzet on curve, but... Yep. Draw a card and discard a card. Why do you do this to me, game? I believe they have a counter spell. And I believe comboing off might not be the win here. Like the way to win this game. So I'm just going to activate Sisay. And not go for the combo at all. And they have a counter spell, they counter the God-Pharaoh statue, which might not be the greatest thing ever. So I could also go for a... No, if they counter the God-Pharaoh statue, then play Niv Mizzet on curve. Oh, yeah. And then I could have still went for the Vivian and killed Niv Mizzet, but this is just juicy. Okay. We have kind of blocked ourselves out of combing off here, actually, because we have all like our legendary artifacts either in the graveyard or on the field, so it's kind of awkward. But again, I am quite confident that we can just win this without comboing off. And I don't want to go into the combo because I feel like they're just going to combo our Paradox Engine. So let's continue with the comboless beatdown plan here, shall we? Let's see. Do we like a Redain? This is interesting. We could go for Ugin the Ineffable and then just start plussing for value. Have some... I feel like they don't have anything. Am I crazy for thinking that? So if they don't have anything, we can't kill them because Nyx Lotus is too expensive, right? Okay. Now we can pull this out. I was a bit cautious here, but seeing this, I'm straight up just trying to go for the win. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this should be lethal, I believe. Yeah, okay. I was a bit cautious, but yep, we go for it. Because Paradox Engine only costs 3 because of Ugin. So now we go with you. So now we get Questing Beast. No, we get Nyx Lotus. Sorry, my bad. And that costs also less because of Ugin. We now get can get basically anything. A 1-drop Legends would also just gain us mana, but a Questing Beast here basically gains us more mana in the long run because it has 2 green pips. So now we go with a... Sure, Thalia. Seems alright. More green mana, please. And let's see, we get more green mana by playing a Vivian. Yep, that should do the trick. Yep, more mana and more mana.
Through hell to lose to you.
So let's ritual again. Doesn't matter too much because we're now going to play the Kogla. Submit 0. And now we get infinite mana by bouncing this. And yep. And we just Finale of Devastation for X equals 10. And if they counter this somehow, we still have just so many backup lines. Yep. Search any creature, doesn't matter. Selfless Savior for the win, I guess. Swing in. And that is lethal. We were super cautious because I was for sure they had a counterspell, but yeah, this works as well. GG. Oh wow. Yeah, we just got roped a bunch. GG, I guess. Yep. We already play against Nif Mizzet. And I think this is a mulligan, even though I really like Thalia. Yep, should be fine. Should be fine. Oh yes. Even with the Thalia on top. Juicy, juicy. Yep, opponent probably removes land wells. As expected, but that is fine, and I think I value slowing the opponent down more than to ramp me, because we're not going to, like, resolve a turn 4 Sisay uncontested. So let's take it a bit slower. If they didn't exile the Thalia, I could have went with Catilda into another mana dork. And this is fine as well. I think I like going with the Reclusive Taxidermist, holding up the Fighters one. Could have also just went it with a tapped Florhedron. Thought Rager, sure, you can look at my hand, opponent. Taking the protection spell, reasonable. So now we go with a... Ooh, this is interesting and nice. Yep, Catilda. Swinging for one, and next turn they hopefully play the commander, have a bunch of removal, but then we can just play Sisay and hold up. Ooh, they don't have counters. That is extremely good for us. Oh, and they are also going to Field of the Dead. Yeah. This is so good for us, because Field of the Dead we don't care about. It's their removal we care about. So we need to draw one playable down the road, and that is expecting that we have to use this heroic intervention. But other than that, I think we're super fine here. Let's grab a white because we have another green in hand. Yep. Pass turn. And if they... Like, they always get removal with Nif, right? But... Yep, sure. Any card, basically, is what we want to top deck here. Wait, they just didn't get removed? Oh, they have a D-Spark here. Okay, Binding, D-Spark. Okay, they have enough removal for Sisay. But I just need to draw a playable, and we have a bunch of playables in the deck. Toski doesn't do much in this matchup. Yep, sure, Binding, targeted Sisay. They can't play any more cards, and like, if we just let this roll play Sisay again, and then they like hostage take her in response to the heroic intervention, they D-Spark, so this doesn't work. So we have to use the intervention now and hope that we top deck a playable card. And technically playable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But not really. We have 3 more mana. Oh, this is actually highly interesting. Kind of like... If we get a Shalai... all of this exiles. Statue doesn't work. Unlucky, I guess. Vivian. This is not great, for sure. This is not great. I feel like the best way to get out of this mess might really be... Like, I would have gotten the Thalia, but Thalia is gone, right? So I'm just going with Redain. Yep. Into Urza's Ruinous Blast. Exiling our Taxidermist, but also exiling their Fires. And now they're mana fixing? No, they have perfect mana fixing anyways because of the Wall Tree. Oh, this wasn't great for us. Now, yeah, they can D-Spark at the end step now. I believe we can't come back from it. Just unlucky that we didn't find a single playable. With how many cheap cards we play in the deck, we just need to draw any 3 or less drop. Yep, the Fairy minusing on Redain. It's reasonable. Okay. Land. Play commander. They remove it with hostage taker. So that's 12. 12 to 4. 12 plus 6. Yeah, what? Oh, that's... No, we also just die next turn if they have another land drop. Yep, put it into command zone. And if they don't have another land drop, then they means they have removal, right? Yeah, this is a lose-lose situation. We had exactly one opening here. And now we don't have a way of coming back because this is exactly lethal next turn. Unless we draw a protection spell. Not great. Wait, not even. We can't even draw a protection spell here because we don't have the mana to play it. Unlucky, I guess. Oh, there's the 1 mana protection spell. A bit too late, because they swing with everything. We have to jump with to say we're dead on board. And this was a very, very close game. Yep. GG. We are ready to play against Golos, Tireless Pilgrim. And man, 1 green mana. On lands. We haven't even, like, we have, I think we have even some more green than white, right? Oh yeah, perfect. Beautiful. And, yep. You go, opponent. Oh, they have Karuga as a companion, so I'm not particularly threatened by that. A Kenrid's transformation can deal with their Golos pretty well. Yep. If we draw 2 lands here, that would obviously be great. Yep. Just play out Sisay on curve. The opponent has to deal with it, and they have exactly 1 chance. Well, 2 chances, kinda, because we can't win unless we top deck a 0-drop. Okay. Yeah, now what we're going to do is we're fetching out a... Do we even do that? No, we can just... So to guarantee the win next turn, we have to fetch out either a land here or a 0-drop. Otherwise, we, again, don't guarantee the land, because if we go like Tolsimir and then play the Mox Amber, Tolsimir, Mox Amber, hold up God's Willing? Does that work for lethal next turn? Yeah, it does. So we do Lyra, Mox Amber. Yeah. Mox Amber. Or do we just hold up double protection spell? I feel like we can't just hold up double protection spell. We're super fine, right? So I shouldn't have fetched here with this. I would have just... I needed to wait on what the opponent does and react to it with my fetch. Yep, Golos, and that is lethal. GG, opponent. You weren't able to interact early and often, so you chose death. Okay, so now Sisay taps for Paradox Engine. We grab the Paradox, float the mana, yep. 0-drop. So now we do it in the classical way of fetching a 1-drop. Any 1-drop works. Hope of Ghirapur. Now we're going up in mana. We do the same thing again. We can also go for 1-drop and then go Nyx Lotus, but we can also just, with a fancy new tech of Celestis, well, new, but it's kind of new, go Celestis. Now a 1-drop again will do the trick. Now we get more mana, more and more and more mana. Sisay tapping for a Nyx Lotus. Now we just go even more up in mana. And let's now increase our green pips on the board for this combo to work, and that Questing Beast has double green. Now we... Yep, and that is a good game, opponent, indeed. And they surrender because they see what's happening to them, and that is the game. GG. We are done with the games. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I did. And yeah, this is Captain Sisay in Historic Brawl. She used to be an absolute menace. Now the matchmaking puts her against a lot of control decks, as you can see, but we still have game against those, so it's still very threatening. You can also just shave off some combo consistency, a few 1-drops, because the 1-drops are really good to get into a combo, right? A few 1-drops and just add more like good cards like Ugin, the 8 mana Ugin, for example, and just have more individual threat and have game against control that way. But just the constant pressure of going infinite whenever Sisay untaps is a lot to deal with for the opponent. So yeah, if they can't deal with that, they just fall over and die. Even if they have busted cards, if they don't interact with me, they are dead. Yeah, if you want to play this deck on a budget, what can you cut? What can you do? You need most of the legends. You need 2 1-mana legends in this deck for this to work. You need the Mox in addition to, like, I'm using Hope of Ghirapur and Shadowspear. I think Hope of Ghirapur is the best one, and then you can use any other one. But you know, you don't even need Hope. It's just the 1-mana legend that is useful outside of the combo. You need Mox. You can cut Celestis, actually, as you saw. Like, I could have just jumped from Mox straight to Nyx Lotus with 2 1-drop legends. You don't even need Thalia in this deck, because Captain Sisay is a human as well, but you lose the ability to 2-route after you, like, you basically need to 2-route everything, and after that you need to make infinite mana, because then you play Sisay again, but you can't tap her because she doesn't have haste. And Thalia just makes this a whole lot easier, and you obviously need the Paradox engine, Kogla, Thalia, or like Kogla for the infinite mana, and then you kind of need your silver bullets, right? You really want to have Little and Vala for the mirror matchup. You really want to have something like a Vivian Reed or a Tolsmere to interact with the opponent at 5 mana, just different points of interaction that you can fetch out, but you don't have to have them. You can even just cut the combo and just go full Sisay, but at that point, like full Silver Bullet, but at that point you're a completely different deck. You should, a very similar deck to this one is my Oswald list. I mentioned it earlier, I'm just posting it again, or like linking it again at the top. Check that one out as well if you like this style of deck. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it. This deck used to be the absolute menace and had disgusting win rates, and now it has fallen a bit out of favor because people pack more interaction, more early interaction into their decks, which I think is absolutely good. I'm a huge advocate of putting in more removal, so people actually see that combo decks are not the absolute bane of the format. They are in fact quite weak, to be honest. Yeah, anyways, hope you enjoyed today's deck, and I will see you tomorrow.